Welcome back to Copperhead Customs and welcome to another episode on our 300C Chrysler Wagon with the V8 HEMI. Episode 3, one you don't want to miss. Can we fix it? Can we fix it? Fix it! So yes, as stated, welcome back. We're back on our Chrysler 300C Wagon, the rare wagon, which was a beautiful car. And this is episode 3 on can we fix what the crash shop stuffed up. So just to recap what happened, we bought this car at auction, had it all ready for sale, actually had a buyer, but the forklift driver at the auction did a little tiny bit of damage to the guard. Very minor. We found out the value of the car. It was ridiculous, so we thought we'd send it in and get it fixed at a professional crash shop. Well, that bit us in the behind. Yes, it did, because the crash shop absolutely stuffed up everything on this car. He ruined all the paintwork on the roof. He ruined the repair work on the door and the front guard, and ruined the front bumper. Then decided to paint the bonnet and the other guard. God knows why. I think the drugs had kicked in too hard. So, from all of that, we got the car back, which was a 2-day job, which he had for a month. The car was destroyed, and we have spent weeks trying to fix it. It has been kicking me left, right, and centre, but we are making some progress now. In the last episode, you would have seen we had the roof redone. We colour sanded it, polished it about 18 times, but got it good in the end. We've probably spent 20 hours getting overspray off of the car. The front bumper and bonnet, we did the same. We colour sanded them for hours and hours and hours and polished them and got them to where we were happy. We then had to take the front guard back to bare metal, and you would have just seen that we painted that. We re-repaired the door and the front guard and had issues with the other front guard. And you would have just seen we tried to paint them and it all went haywire and I lost my stuff. That was the last thing you've seen in last week's episode, was, which you don't see too often, but I absolutely lost it. Was ready to hit the car with a sledgehammer. So what we're going to do now is we'll show that final clip of last week's episode so you can actually see and have another giggle at me losing it again, and then we will go and continue on and see if we pull this off and how actually good I am at painting. So with that said, you'll probably enjoy this one. Cross your fingers, toes, arms, legs, everything that we actually do pull this off, because as you can see now, we haven't finished it yet. So cross them all for me, and we'll see what we achieve. Okay, we are having some serious issues. Our guard, beautiful, yeah? So far so good, it's all looking good. It's just had to lay it down, so it's a little bit peely, but it will flatten out because it's base coat. Probably needs, I don't know, it's probably good enough. Could maybe give it one more coat if we want, but that's probably on the money there. This fender over here, I was thinking it was working pretty good. This little area here, we did that sort of worked okay. Same with this one. But up in here, as you can see, we're getting a fry up. It's absolutely doing my head in. So that there's going to have to be sanded back down. And we're going to have to attack that again. The door, the same. I thought we were making some progress and slowly getting it, but it started to fry. So I've tried just sitting it back with the gun up really high and just dusting to see if I could get rid of it. But you can see here it's got a bad one. This is on the edge of our primer, so that's fried up really bad there. That's going to have to be sanded all along that edge there. It's fried up. Oh, this is just doing my head in, eh? It's bad, it's everywhere. There's some crap in it we've got to get out, but there's fry ups through here. There's one there, a wicked one, all along that edge. I don't know. All along here, it's So basically the door, from the looks of it, we have to sand it all. We're probably, well, it's more and more wasting a product, yeah? We either sand it all, take it back to bare metal, bite the bullet, primer it. Or we give it another sand and try to primer it, and hopefully the primer doesn't fry up. It's so disappointing, this is. So all I can think, I don't know, I actually don't know. It's got nothing to do with the weather or any of that now. As in, I've painted that like really good, and as you can see on there, we got no issues. So it's all to do with this fucking Pelican's shit workmanship, and it's just giving us grief, eh? Like this, you know, we're good on our sand through here, his paint, bang, it fucks up and fries. The same on the door. I'm really disappointed. Like, I thought we were starting to make some fucking progress. And we're gone, like I said, one step forward, two steps back. So the one step forward is, we got one guard, half painted. We still haven't cleared it. But yeah, we've got to now rework these for the fucking 20th frickin' time. So, apologise for swearing, but I'm so fucked off. It is like ridiculous. This is pissing me off. Like weeks now I've been working on this piece of shit fucking car that this fuckwit fucked up. Anyway, I've had a gutful. I'm going inside. Do apologise for swearing. I'm not editing it out because you guys need to see. You actually need to see how upset and stressful this fucking car is making me now. All because some piece of shit fucking tradesman that is like not a tradesman's arsehole does this shoddy workmanship. Like, this is absolutely freaking atrocious. You've seen the first video. I don't know. Anyway. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to touch it. I need to walk away from it again, I think. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, it's the next morning and I have calmed myself a little bit. We'll see if we keep yesterday's bit of footage where I lose my stuff in, or whether I don't put it in. But if I don't put it in, well, I lost my stuff yesterday afternoon with this. So, where do you want to start? Should we start with the good or should we start with the bad? Let's start on a good note, okay? Let's start today on a good note and let's look at some good stuff. So, this is our fender that we took back to bare metal and re-primed. And as you can see, it is mint. We will probably give it another coat or two, I say. It's probably had 2, maybe 3 coats, but they were pretty light. We sort of put one heavy one on. But as you can see with the base coat, not cleared, remember, base coat will flatten itself out. That's the great thing with base coat is you can put it on and as it dries, it will flatten itself out. But as you can see, that is mint. But like I said, we'll probably give it at least another probably coat. We could get away with that actually. We probably could get away with it. I'll have a little think about whether we should give that another one. Sometimes when it's looking good, you leave it. But I would like another coat on there, preferably. I'll think about whether I give that another coat or not. Okay, we'll stay with the good. I haven't actually sussed these out, but let's have a little look at our badges. And yes, they are looking passable. Our little badge and our trim. So we will say that they're on the good list. Then we'll come over to his painted rubbish fender. Now we had a little burn through at the front edge here, which we blended through. Now we did give this guard a little bit of a kind of a soft coat, as you would say, to get our colour more uniform. But our little blend here looks beautiful. We had a chip here on the edge here. That's come up good. We had another little burn through around here. That's come up okay. You know, you can't really see where we've blended it. Looks all pretty good. We painted the inside a bit here. We had some dodgy stuff happening where the bolts were, and that's all good. Then you're ready now to look at the not so good. So all of this is all perfect. We come here to where we had our little burn through and our little bit we sanded just there. As you can see, looks great. But then look here. Oh yes, we have had a mega fry up. So this is on the a bit of the normal paint. So as you can see over here, we went on to normal paint, we're okay. But in this area, we're no good. So we're gonna sand this down, get rid of the fry up. Not quite sure what the plan is going to be. We don't really have to paint any more of this. Now what I also did was I threw a little bit of paint all around this area once this happened, okay? Because I wanted to make sure that this wasn't gonna fry, because we're gonna do a blend on here later, okay? With our slightly greyed color, yeah? So I wanted to make sure we had a little bit of something to see if it wasn't gonna fry. And all of that area is okay, okay? But up here we've got issues, so we're gonna have to sand this down like I said. We may actually use some primer. I think I've got a light grey primer in the can. We might try that, and we'll give it a coat or two of primer just in this area, give it a light sand and see if we can't give that another little blend. We don't have to paint the whole, we just, but let's see if we can fix that. Okay, so the guard, I think, as bad as that fry up is, we should get away with. Now the door on the other hand, we just had so much grief with. As you can see, you should be able to see it's very patchy as well. And that's just because I couldn't lay it on heavy, but mega fry, hopefully I'll try to get out of the light. Mega fry up all through this section. It's very hard for you to see. All through the center, on the edges here, all through here, we got fry up like where that is, we're not keeping. On the edges there, we're all fried. We are all fried up through here. Basically the whole way along there, we've got a fry up. We've got a really bad one through this section. And I don't even know what's going on up here. Up here we've got a bit of trash, but there we're not really fried. We're splotchy where it will fry. I know it's gonna fry. Same here, same here, same all along here. It's all fried everywhere where his paint is. Okay, now in these issues where it hasn't, it's where I've gone down deeper, but basically wherever his paint was, it's fried. All through here, where our primer was, it is okay. But on the edge of our primer to where the paint underneath is, it's fried. So realistically, we need to strip it to bare metal. It's mega. Which means digging all his repair out, doing the repair from scratch. At this stage, first I'm gonna sand this all down, get rid of all our fry up, get it all nice and flat again, and I'll just see what happens. If we start burning through into those layers like we were a bit yesterday, then I think we're taking it to bare metal. So as you can see, by this guard turning out absolutely flawless, it had nothing to do with my technique or to do with it being cold or anything like that. This is solely his crap underneath is giving us grief, okay? That's 100% what it is. It is nothing else other than what this Pelican has done. So, with all that said, as you can see, I'm a little bit of zen overnight. I was so mad yesterday after this happened because it's just, I'm just doing more and more and more and more work. So now we're rework that's been reworked like it's ridiculous. It's so maddening, but not really what we wanted, but it's not gonna beat me. It's not gonna beat me. So at any rate, because if you look here, we are making some progress with it, I think. A few people have said I should have just painted the whole car in the last episode, and yes, I agree, I probably should have, but we would be having these issues if I had to paint the whole car, but we'd also be having the issue with the bonnet would have had to go onto bare metal because I'd have the same issue there, and the bumper would have had to been fully stripped. The issue when you strip down a bumper like that is when you burn through all the paint, you burn through, as soon as you start hitting the original plastic and sanding on that, it ends up like fluffed up a bit, and it's just very hard to get it nice again. So we would have had issues with the bumper. We would have had to do a full bonnet, bare metal. and yeah, then we still have to paint everything else. So I understand people have said paint the whole thing, and then if we would paint the whole car, we'd want to redo the roof. We'd have the same issue on the roof. We'd end up taking the roof back to bare metal. So that's kind of out of. It's not an option anymore to be able to do that because of what we're dealing with this. So let's see if we can keep the positive vibe going that we've got today for about 10 minutes until the door melts, and let's see if we can achieve something. Okay, we are back and we pulled the pin on the 320 grit. It wasn't going to happen, I don't think. It just kept, I had to keep working it further and further and further and deeper and deeper and deeper, and I just didn't trust that it was going to work. And then I just said, look, at the end of the day, let's do this properly and not have this, because it is just absolutely atrocious underneath. So we've started going back to bare metal, and hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. Now this, it melts. See, you can see that it's like here, look. It's melted. It doesn't matter what I use, it will melt. Okay, and you can see it's like how deep. It is so deep, like. But it's, you can see there, like it melts. It melts and crusts up, alright? Like that. So that's what happens. As soon as you buzz through a layer, bang, you get into that rubbish. But in here, I was just trying to get rid of the fry, and then I was just getting worse and worse, and I was feeling it, and I'm just like, nah. It looks like, then I started sanding through some of the layers up here, and I was seeing shiny stuff. Yes, I was finding shiny stuff that he's just painted over. I don't even reckon I don't even know if he scuffed the surface properly. Like, any rate, we are in Zen today. We are not going to get angry. Okay, so we just decided, stuff it, let's do it properly. So we've started stripping it back to bare metal. It's going to take me a fair few hours. I just went and got rid of little mate because it's horrid in here with all the dust and crap. So we started with using the wire brush on the grinder. I've gone and got a flap disc. It's a bit worn out, but it's all I've got. I might actually have to go into town and buy some. But I'm finding the best way just to get that off, the paint off, throw about the presser butt, and then we hit it with the 36 grit on the orbital, and we're going to get it nice. So we're going to have to just get as much as we can. When we get up to here, I'm going to have to obviously unmask, but I'm probably going to have to tear the door down to get rid of that chrome strip and everything. So I don't know how to take that off as yet. So I've got to either research or just gingerly try to pry it without breaking it. That will be the next thing that goes wrong, won't it? The chrome strip will break. But yeah, I think we'll take the mirror and the chrome strip off so we can get the door good. Slowly moving forward, I think. Anyway, let's get back to this brain dead job of sanding all this paint off. Oakley Day. We have been on this for hours and hours and hours. But as you can see, we've got it down to bare metal, and we used the 32 grit to sand it all up. You can see a couple of little marks in here. That's just from the grinder. It's minimal. I could actually probably sand them out if I carried on a bit longer. But we didn't sand up and this end a real lot. We just sort of scuffed over the top. Now, I've probably spent the last good half an hour reworking this repair, which was done atrociously, and you've probably seen in when I was grinding it how thick the bog it was. Seriously, it was a good half an inch, so 12 to 15 millimeters of filler through this section, and it went basically from here out to there. It was all filler. This here is absolutely perfect. There's nothing, even no damage there at all. There was so much put in, and there was so many different layers. Now, the reason we ended up bare metaling it was that I was getting the odd little melt, okay, but I was sort of working, I was getting rid of all the fry up, and it was, you know, wasn't working brilliantly, but I think we could have got away with it. But as I started coming through the layers, there was so many layers of paint and filler and crap on this. Okay, as I got to one of the layers, which was the original paint, it was shiny. It was still shiny. Like, and remembering, we just blew paint off of our guard. I do not think this was scuffed. If it was scuffed, it was not done very well. So at any rate, when I started seeing these shiny bits, I went, stuff it, let's strip it back to bare metal and do it properly. And then when we got the grinder happening in through here, there's so much. So what there was there was some green filler. I'm not sure what that was, whether that was like the fiberglass type. I doubt it. It was just a green type. So there was green filler, which wasn't on bare metal. As you can see here, we have the green filler on top of paint. So it wasn't even taken back to fucking bare metal before the filler was put on for a start. Like, big no-no, guys. If you're going to put some filler on, you take the panel back to bare metal, okay? Come on. So any rate, this is half the reason why we dug it all out. So in the layers there was the original undercoat, is like the greyish colour there. The original paint. Then there was the green filler. Then there was a browny tan colour filler. Then there was a primer. Then there was paint. Then straight over the top of that paint was another coat of filler. Right, but listen to this. Then there was more primer and more filler and more primer. Any rate, we're talking 13 freaking layers. So, but after the first coat of this and the brown filler and the paint, it then had another quarter of an inch more, probably more than a quarter of an inch of brown filler on the top. And as we know, this edge was really fat, but in here it was even thicker, all right? Now, if we wind back to when we did the guard over there and we cut all that filler out of that guard, the edge there was all built up with filler as well. And then this edge is built up with filler. Like, maybe if we got rid of the filler there, we wouldn't need as much filler here for a start. Okay, that's just for a start. But any rate, well, I wouldn't know what I'm talking about. So anyway, we got in here now with the hammer and the dolly. I've shoved screwdrivers in. We took the speaker out under there. Right, we took the speaker out. We shoved a screwdriver and stuff down in here and like hammered it in right into the point here. And then we tapped. Now I couldn't record it because the camera was charging, but we tapped that up. We also beat up this edge, okay, which was way down. We actually beat that up to get that way better into shape. So it will need a little bit of filler along here, but we are so much, we've moved it 4 or 5 mil actually. Like, so if you look at it down there, look, ooh, it's not looking too bad at all, is it? Hey, that's right. So if you look on our edge here, it is slightly higher. It has a little dip down, but I can't get right into that point. I can only get, like, even smashing my screwdriver, I can only get into there. So what I've been doing is getting my screwdriver in as hard as I can and banging on it, and then also tapping all around, trying to leave a this area up. So we've got this up an absolute ton from what it was. I'm talking this much. We've changed the shape of this, and we've done it like we've spent about half hour ramming screwdrivers and stuff in it, trying to dolly. Like, we can't really get dollies in there. We can only get our dolly into about here. Okay, way back there is about as far as we can get the dolly. So I've been doing it with screwdrivers. I then went and got the little chisel there. It's a little bit better, and we can only get the chisel into about here, and then trying to use that as a bit like a dolly. So we've got it like, it's not perfect. There's no worry about, don't worry about that. It ain't perfect, but it is a lot better than it was. So we've just ran the sander over, so you can now see all our lows. So that's how close we have got it. So that is the sander hitting there, and so you can actually see where we're low. Like, we are a lot better. Now this has a little dip there, like we're a little bit high here. We may actually be a bit high, but I actually think this is probably the shape we want. So we'll have to put a little piece through there as well. We're starting to get like the pops happening. So I've been hitting there with the pointy hammer, trying to tighten it all back up. But yeah, I think we'll just put a little bit of filler through that section. So our filler's going to come out to like here, but that sort of should be it, okay? So we'll have a little bit through there. This will be high here and high here. So worst case, we may have to tap this down, but I don't think so. So what we're at now is, with all that talking we got done, we've also stripped all the chrome and that off the door. All we've got to do is a little bit along that edge, depaint, and also the inside the door handle part, depaint. But what we'll do now is we'll wax and grease remove this quickly. We'll start throwing some filler on, and we'll start getting a little bit of shape happening onto this. And we'll also probably quickly throw some masking tape over the window, and we'll put some super etch primer on. For those of you who don't know, you use super etch primer on your bare metal, just a thin little layer of it. Boom. It will stop it rusting, but it also, that's your normal primer will not stick very well to the bare metal. You're meant to use super etch primer. So the etch part is because it etches into the metal. Okay, then you can run your other primers on top of that. All right, so that's what we will do now. Someone may know, I know there's a few body dudes that watch. Should the super etch primer be going onto the bare metal here before we put filler on, or should we be putting the filler straight onto the bare metal? I know one bloke down in Tasmania who will answer that question for me straight away. Oakley, it is the next morning, and it is a cold one today. It is Saturday, and we'll see what the weather's going to do, whether we go out a bit later this afternoon into the photo. But what we've done this morning is, as you can see, I'm a little bit chipper because maybe something has finally gone our way. So you seen last night we had our second, I don't know if you did see that, but we had our second little layer, thin little layer of body filler on the panel, and took it from over half an inch, I reckon, at least half an inch thick, to a little tiny smear. And if you can see in there, the little gap, it's very thin, not thick like it was. And we've now put it on the car, just tacked with 2 bolts. We've got the door shut. It will need a little bit of tweaking, but it's pretty damn close. Same with the fender, that has 2 or 3 bolts in it. The gap on the bonnet looks a little bit out, but by the time we adjust it, see that? Look at that. Oh, yeah, it's perfect. Now look at our colour here. So remember, this is not glossed yet. This is just base coat. But look at the colour. Hey, her colour looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. To the bumper. Ooh, it looks pretty good. And even if we look here to the pillar, hopefully it's not wind noisy. That's not bad, is it? It's not bad. So, we may actually have to do, we'll see, when we go on our door paint, we may have to actually do a little mix on this side of the car. I reckon this side will nearly get it, but we'll probably add a tiniest little bit, and then we'll do another one for this side to get the sides to match like really, really well. See that? See that? That's called a little bit of skill, something someone else was lacking. But anyway, look at this. We've gone to bare metal. Yes, we've removed 14 kilograms, so like 28 pound of body filler from the door. We've put the tiniest little skim on there after actually panel beating the panel a little bit, and we need to give it a little touch up. As you can see, we've got a couple of lows, okay, but and we've got to smooth this out a lot on the back here a bit better. But it was just I needed a guide to see where we were at, whether, because I could sort of sand this down a bit lower, see, I can take a bit more out of this, whether to keep going or if we needed to fill up a little bit more. So we've got 2 bolts on this and the door closed, and we've got our gap on our door here pretty well spot on. Okay, now the door could probably come up maybe just a tiniest little amount, but we've now got our door gap through there pretty good, you must agree. And guess what, we've got this looking pretty good. So if anything, the guard is slightly like there, it's pretty much perfect, you know. And there's adjustment in this. This is just put on, we can actually fine tune that even and get it even a bit better. So guess what we didn't do? We didn't put an inch of filler on the guard or on the door. And guess what else we didn't do? We didn't filler our door shut to get our panel alignment correctly. And look, we didn't have to run a grinder through to get our gap correct. Because why? Because we used a little bit of skill and did the work properly. So with that said, we've got a nice gap, we've got a nice repair done now. We'll bring the door, we'll pull it all back apart. So we're happy with that side of the car. The door will come in, we'll give it one final little tickle up in a couple of those lows, final sand, super etch primer all the metal, start throwing a couple of coats of primer on the door, ready for final wet sanding, and then the door will be ready, and we won't get any, what won't we get? We won't get any more fry-ups or issues, and the door probably weighs 30 kilograms less. And guess what else? It won't fall out in 6 months' time because there's just the thinnest, tiniest little smear of filler in that door, not 15 layers this thick with pinholes all through it. That was the other thing. There was all pinholes when I was gouging all that filler out yesterday. There was all these pinholes. And if you don't know, which a lot of you probably do know, when you have pinholes in your filler, little snail wormhole type things, that's where your filler will fail and where your paint will lift, and you'll get bog cracking or filler cracking or lifting off the panel. All of that, that's caused from having air pockets or wormholes inside the filler, which then have moisture trapped in them and make it fail down the track. So if you are going to run filler, you got to make sure that you put it in, you run multi-layers thinly so you don't have these air pockets. But what would I know? I don't know nothing. I'm just a self-taught backyarder. So at any rate, we're making some progress on the door. I'm happy with that. We'll bring it in, like I said, give it one final little tiny in a couple of those lows, final sand, get that one sealed back over, out of the weather. I don't know if we're going to start this one today or not. And see that's a step forward today. See if we can actually maybe take 2 steps forward today for once And no steps backwards. That may be a first on this job. Oakley dokley, as you just seen, we got all the door sanded up and we have laid 2 coats of putty primer on. We'll probably give it 3 or 4, I think. Our repair here looks schmickety, but you can see through there. It's just some grinding marks that we didn't end up sanding out where we were stripping the paint because we used that flat disc. It was a bit worn out and obviously we gouged it a little bit. You can probably see it here. See it there? It's there and then there. So we'll give it a few coats. Hopefully 3 or 4 coats will pull that out. Otherwise we might have to put a thin little slither on the door. But I think 3 or 4 coats will rectify that once we sand it down. And we come over here into the guard and we just sanded up our fry up and put some on and it fried straight away. So then I pulled it a bit harder. I've just given it another touch up. As you can see all the sanding marks. Well, see all the sanding marks, but you can see just here, just there, it's sort of, and just there. See just there, it's sort of on the verge of frying again. So, you know, I just thought I'd do a little test for the tiny little splash of primer. We'll see. I'll put some more on it. We'll see what happens when I wet sand it. I'm not overly confident. So we're going to let that dry off for half hour probably. I'll go inside, might have a cup of soup for lunch. Oakley dokley, we are back, and as you can see we gave it 2 more big heavy coats and now we've put some guide coat on. If you're wondering what that is and because you don't know anything about any of this stuff, it is just, you can actually buy a proper guide coat that you actually push on with a brush or whatever, but this is just a little bit of satin. I always use satin or a matte black preferably, just a little bit of paint misted from like up here. You don't want to paint it, you just want a little tiny misting. As you can see, it's a little tiny dusting of paint, and what that will do is when we start to sand it, it will show our highs and lows. And how it does that is, when we get rid of all the black, we've got it all flat. If we're still seeing spots of black, they are low. So hopefully you can see the roughness in here. Like I said, 4 coats of primer should be plenty to flatten that out, I imagine. Worst case, we've got to give it another coat tomorrow after we've sanded all this. Now, onto our guard. What I ended up doing was prime it all the way down this edge. Reason being is we're going to paint on here. Yes. So I don't want it to stuff me up later on. So I thought I'd throw some primer down on this edge. Up the top, have we pulled it off? Well, at the moment, we have no frying in here. We put it on a really, really, really thick coat we put on there. And it sort of sealed in the fry. So, are we out of the woods with that yet? We don't know. We are still 50. We're going to be 50-50 on this until we've got it painted white. And what we'll do, so we don't waste paint, is we will come on here with a bit of base and see if we can get a blend it all up, make sure we're happy with our guard. Same on the door, we'll paint all the door, and if we are happy, then what we will do is we'll grab a little bit of our paint. We're not going to need a lot, and we'll take it out, and we will do some tiny, like I've said, tiny little adjustments to it to get it to match that back door. That's the plan. We're making progress. I think we've maybe taken a couple of steps forward. So we'll see how good this turns out once we've flattened it. As you can see, our repair up here is slick as, but see down in here, you can sort of see there. There'll be another batch there. These are all my grinding marks when I stripped the paint. A little bit heavy-handed, but they shouldn't be that deep. So the amount of primer on there should fix it. Oakley dokley. So we haven't finished yet. We're still working. I was doing it by hand with some 400, but it was taking forever. And then I went to the orbital and I ran 400 dry, and it was just sort of clogging the paper. And I went to 320, 360, 320, and the same. It was sort of clogging and what we were doing. And then I've never done this ever. I've never actually done this part of the sanding with the orbital. Tell you the truth. But what I did was, I don't know if maybe it's because it's still a touch wet, or I don't know why I was clagging it up, but I actually wet the panel and used those orbital paper pads like a wet and dry. Didn't know if it was going to work or not, and it works a treat. So anyway, we're buzzing it down. You can still see a lot of black spotting on there, so we've got to take it down more yet, but we are getting there. And we get rid of it. Well, that's just burnt into our super etch, and just here, but like here we've got it pretty well. This strip down here is pretty well on the money, and in that corner we're very close. A couple of little tiny spots to get rid of, and we just have to concentrate on this more, do the top and the bottom. So still needs probably another good half hour or so. But Saturday night, I've had a gutful, so it's time to go in and have a shower. Oakley, D.I. Oakley. We have the door all completely sanded, pretty good. We got a little burn through there and a little one over there, but other than that, we've got that smick repair work. Ooh, yeah, see that? That's how it's meant to be done. So minimal filler in here, as you know, and look how smick that is. All back to bare metal, looking a treat. So that was a fair bit of sanding, because like I said, we had those little grind marks in. I don't know how many coats we had on that, four coats of undercoat, I think, but we only had the one little burn through there. We might just give that a little pss with a little bit of filler from the can. And we've done the guard, like I said. We actually buzzed the whole side over here just to help maybe get it to take. We're not 100% confident, but we did get this area pretty good. Oakley dokley. So we have just given the door 4 to 5 coats of base coat, and as you can see now the colour's fully changed, It is all beautiful looking. And we've done the same on the guard, but we've only sort of done this sort of back half of the guard. As you can see, there's no, you can't see any of the repair or any undercoat or anything. So we're all good. And as you can see on our door looks pretty well brand new. Beautifuls, yes. Base coat. It's cold again today, very cold. All this stuff can be done when it's cold, guys. You just got to take a bit more care and use a bit more of brain. So you just paint. You don't paint heavy, you paint thin. You paint a bit thinner, you just slowly build your coats up, okay? Just slowly build them up. Don't paint and try to have it like gloss off the gun type sort of finish that you would. You just paint nice and like paint them a bit thin, a bit dry nearly. You know, like your first coat, it's just a little dusting. And just slowly build. I think it was only the last 2 coats where we totally weren't seeing through it. Like the first 3 coats, I could still see that little burn through. I could, like. And it's only just sort of gone now. Like you can't see it now, but you know, we just slowly went. It's base coat for flattens and levels. Like, so if you look at it up close, like, how's it look like? It looks freaking unbelievable. So this stuff can be done. Bit of patience. And we've got our fry up to not fry up, so we're pretty happy there. Now what we have done is, this will be take 2 for the recording, because we had the camera turned the wrong way. Now we've mixed up a little batch here of paint. I'll grab this and we will go out to the car and have a quick little look-ski at what we've done. So we just added some reduced black, slowly, very, very, very slowly. And we've got it pretty close. If you can see on here, it's definitely grayer. And if we put it onto there, we are very, very close, guys. So we actually can dab a bit on there. And hey, you can't even see it, can you? Because I've got it on the money pretty much. Now it is hard to get this right when you're mixing like this, because it will be different when it's sprayed as opposed to just dabbing it on the car. You can definitely see that is looking pretty cool. If anything, it looks nearly a touch too grey, but we'll put a little on the car, as you can see. That looks pretty good. We come back here, can't even see it, yeah, so I think we're close. Now the plan is now, just wipe that off. The plan now is that we're just going to add that, have a bit of thinners put into the mixing gun, into the paint gun, and we're just going to do a little tiny blowout on this door, and we're going to do a little tiny blowout on that guard, okay? And we will do a little tiny bit on the back of this. Just a little bit, okay? We've also come to the back here and de-oversprayed and rebuilt all the tailgate. We've got a little bit more to do, but we got rid of a ton of overspray out of there. Now I'm pretty sure he didn't even have this masked up when he came to paint it, as the tailgate rubber there was covered in overspray, and and there was overspray on the struts. There's a little bit of overspray on the interior. Absolutely freaking atrocious tradesman this guy is. Yeah, absolutely atrocious. I would say the worst. I think I picked the worst shop in Australia. Seriously, this guy he should have a current affair go see him or something, like, and shut him down. Atrocious tradesman. So that's if he is a tradesman. Who knows? He's probably not. He's probably got no qualification at all. Anyway, with that said, we're actually getting somewhere now. We're getting somewhere. We're starting to kick its butt. Okay, there is the blend done. Now from here, you can't notice it really at all, can you? I can sort of see it because I know it's there. Here, like a bit wider, and there a little bit grayer, but like, can you pick that, guys? Can you see that at all? I pretty much probably say no, you can't. Same on the door here, bit grayer, a little bit wider. You can't pick it. I'm seriously, if you can pick it, tell me if you can pick that I've done that little blend in there. I'll show you a few different, see? I can't see that. So if you wondered how I did that, have you seen, I basically started the gun here and came in, and then as I came in to say here, then I tilted the gun up, and then I went back out here and started again. Press, bang, and as I flicked the gun up. So it goes thicker, thins out, thicker, thins out. And I started them all out here and went like that. Didn't come back. Just went boom, flick up, boom, flick up, boom, flick up. So that's how you then get it thick on this edge, thinner on there. We just hose the floor down again. If you wonder why I'm doing that, it's to eliminate dust. We are in a dusty, dirty, dingy old shed here. You can see there is dust everywhere. We've been sanding and welding and grinding in here for years, so it is covered. It is not what you should be painting in, but to at least try to eliminate me stirring the dust up, we hose the floor down, and so far we have got no trash in this at all at this stage. Famous last words. I hear you saying, yes, this is when we normally get issues in the trash department, is in our clear, because we will paint the clear on a lot heavier and it will sit there a little bit longer. And we have a skylight up whirly there that sometimes drops stuff in, and we've got possums that live in here and stir stuff up. So, but we should get less trash than when we do stuff out there, and fingers crossed we don't get any bugs drop in it. But the guards, as you can see, we've brought the other guard in now and given that a little tiny scuff. Wax and grease removes it, but that is sitting basically vertical, so with, you know, there's less areas for trash. The door, well, it's horizontal, it can get trash. This guard is on a slight angle, but we've limited the areas to get trash if we were to hang the door, you know, but we're not doing that. So we've mixed up our clear. We've mixed up a big pot of clear. It's already in the gun. We've got another, at least one gun pot, maybe another 1.5 really. So we should have pretty much close to enough clear. This is one thing which is going to be pretty hard on that, but I do not like letting my clear and my masking tape set overnight. It can lead to issues with the masking tape pulling a bit of the clear up. It has happened to me before. So something that I normally try to get my tape off when the clear is still tacky. So I'm not sure on the time at the moment, but we'll paint until we paint. Okay, so, but yeah, we'd like to maybe try to demask, but these two pieces are going to be very hard to demask, but so be it. But I think we'll at least probably take this edge off. Oakley dokley. So we'll do this pretty quick because I've got to get my mask back on, because as you can see, it's covered in spray. So this guard is slick, except I did get a little tiny run there, but easily addressed. But other than that, that guard is slick. So we put two heavy coats on. The couple of tiniest little bits of trash, like 1 or 2, 3 pieces in this, but that is slick. We'll give it the tiniest little cut back. That orange peel wires, that is insanely good, I'm telling you. That is hardly got any at all, but because the rest of the car has been paint corrected, we will have to give it a tiniest little one. As you can you see me in there? Yeah, so orange peel wise, that is like, that's better than factory, I'm telling you. But we did bust out a little run. And that's the thing, is no orange peel at all, and runs are like so close, hey. So this guard over here is probably got the tiniest little bit more orange peel. Not much, it's pretty slick. It's got a little bit more trash in it though. There's a couple of spots there. I don't know if you can see them. You probably can't see them. Yep, there. See in there, there's a couple of spots there. There's one little spot there. And other than that, it's pretty good. But they can be easily got rid of. We can get rid of them out of there pretty easily. And there's, like I said, a tiniest little bit of peel in this, but it's still better than factory peel. Slick, eh? It's pretty slick. It's a pretty slick paint job. We've just pumped out in the stinking dirty shed. But our door, no, we haven't got any reactions, but we've got a lot of trash in the door. A lot and a lot and a lot of trash. Like bad. I don't know if it's because of the up the top there, but there is a ton of trash in here. And because it's cold, it is taking forever to dry. I think I let that flash for like a good hour, and it was still only just on the verge of being able to tack cloth it. Like it was right on the limit of coming in a bit soon. So we've got a ton of trash we're going to have to do. We may even have to give this another coat of clear when we finish it all. Like tomorrow, we're going to have to try to sand all this sand all this trash out. There's tons of it in there. There's nothing we can do about that. There's no reactions or anything like that. We just got a ton of trash in it. And just like when I finished there, see that black dot? Right there, yeah. So that dropped in just as I finished the last one, and I don't know why we've got so much trash in that door. I know it's on the horizontal, but yeah, the shed is bad for trash. That's why I started to paint outside, because we used to get so much trash in here. But we can fix all that. But orange peel, well, look, you can see it. It is slick. Slick, slick, slick. Not like that rubbish that was on the car before. So at any rate, and we've done our two little trims. They've turned out okay. There's actually a little bit of water on this one when I come in and painted it from me hosing the floor out, and I didn't see that. But we've still got a little bit of pot left. We've still got like a third, so it's up to about there, of a pot. But it is taking so long to dry, so I'm not quite sure. I hate throwing clear out, but we don't need to paint any more on that guard. That guard is smick. The other guard's pretty good too. And, you know, we're liable to get a run on this one if we were to throw any more on. So I wouldn't mind throwing some more on the door, that last bit on the door, but it's going to probably take an hour before it's sort of ready. And we're getting pretty late on in the day, so if I wait an hour, it's going to be nearly dark, and I'm going to paint this nearly at dark. So I'm a bit iffy on whether to throw another one on or not. It has had two really, really, really heavy coats though. So like that second coat I put on was heavy. Like I said, I have a feeling we may have to give that one more coat when we have finished. So I might just tip that out and clean the gun and let it, lock the shed up, and see what they're like tomorrow. We're definitely going to have to, we'll give them all a little sand, but probably not tomorrow. We may actually, we'll see what happens. So anyway, slick, slick, slick. Pretty happy with that. Like you can see here, like look at the reflection there. It is crisp, see? So the orange peel is insanely good. So that's remembering, non-professional paint. I'm not a painter by trade. I'm not a car person by trade. By trade, I am a pipe welder. That's what my trade is. I'm not a painter. I'm not a body man. Not even a mechanic. I used to weld pipe. That was what I did for a living. A pipe fitter and welder. So I think we're doing pretty good, aren't we? Hey? Any rate. We'll see what I do. I think we'll just clean the gun, call it quits, and we'll come back and re-adjourn tomorrow. Oakley dokley, it is the next day after yesterday's painting. And how did we go? Well, hey, we went okay. I'll tell you that. So we'll start with the worst piece. The worst piece is the door, but if you look at the paint, it is like glass. It is slick. Basically, that is better than factory off the gun finish. It is like hardly any peel at all in it. I'll get you really close. There is no peel in this, hardly whatsoever. We will be colour sanding this to make it even better. But that there is, it is slick, let me tell you. Completely different to the so-called professional job we had done. Now, issue is, this has got more trash in a panel than I think I have ever had. The trash in here is absolutely ridiculous. Which is, we did see this yesterday. I do not know if something got knocked up there or what. The amount of trash in this is ridiculous. So this is why I stopped painting inside the shed and painted outside, was because I was getting a lot of trash. But this panel is, I've never had so much trash. So we're definitely, that's why we stopped at 2 coats yesterday. 2 big, thick, heavy coats. So we definitely have to try to sand all this trash out, but we may end up giving this another coat at this stage. We'll see how it is, but if I can get you down to show you, look at the trash in there. It is horrendous amounts in this panel, but look at the actual panel itself. Look at the light reflections. Look how sharp they are. That's because there is no peel. This thing, probably one of the best I've ever done orange peel wise. Okay, so that's the door. That's the worst of the trash. But, like I said, definitely repairable. And worst case, we will give it one more layer of clear, but I don't think we'll need to. But if you look at our repair, it's all smick, guys. It looks really good. It actually looks really, really good. That's what I thought. That was the reason I didn't do the job, was because of the trash that I was going to get in it. But that's what I thought I was paying for, like a quality paint job. And now if we look at our guard, this would be our second worst panel. And if you look at the, hey, look at the peel. Oh, that what? That's right, you can hardly see any because it is ridiculously good. Now there's a few bits of trash just at the front here. Probably 5 or 6 in this area. Don't know if you're going to be able to spot them. Probably not. And there's a couple around there. Other than that, that panel is flawless. If we look at our colour, we do have a difference to the bumper, which we always had. We're looking, you know, it looks a tiny bit different, but it all depends on the angle. If we look at this here, it looks like perfect. We come here, it's pretty close, guys. It does look a little bit different. All depends on the angle you get on. See there, looks really spot on. This looks a bit different straight on. We come here, looks a little bit off, but it is a lot closer than what we had. We're maybe one shade out now, but like I said, different angles. It looks fine. Like so, here to here, perfect. You know what I mean? We come around the front. This maybe looks a touch wider, but this is what this colour's doing on every panel. So it is now looking more like it's meant to. See, so back here, you can see it like it is very, 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 very close, guys. That's very, very close. A lot closer than it was. And the proper, I'm pointing them out to you. I don't know if you're seeing them or not, but I'm actually pointing this out to you. The general public, untrained eye is not picking this, and especially under these lights, it is worse. The light under the carport here with the fluoro, the natural light with the fluoro, really emphasizes these issues. We take this car out there and you won't pick this at all, okay? Or this or anything, it will look pretty much on the money. Now we come to look at this fender. Now this is, I think, the slickest paint I've ever done. This guard is absolutely insane. Like, this is show car type off the gun. Like, seriously, I think that's the best I've ever done, that one. That is like, that one's impressive, I'm telling you. That does not even need to be colour sanded. So this has been colour sanded and polished. Now it's very dirty. It needs maybe another polish, but this here is as good, if not better, off the gun. That's what I thought I was paying for. Now, the only issue with this fender is just there, our little run. You can see our run there we've got to get out. Not a hard job, but we will do a slight little bit of colour sanding on that, just to take a little, the tiniest little peel that's in it. We'll get rid of that. Polish it up. It will be glass. Like, we just got to be careful. We've got to be careful in the fact that we could make these panels look too good to the rest of the car, because they're not far off what all this other stuff is after it's been worked for hours and hours, okay? So we just got to be careful with that. Now, we do not know what our colour match will look like on this. As I said, it was freezing cold last night. It's now the afternoon. I didn't even want to come and touch them till late the Savo. So, but I'm pretty impressed. I think we got our colours pretty good. They're definitely passable now. Like I've said, outside you won't even pick this. I'm pointing it out. I know. I'm actually searching for it. And even like here, like that's, hey, come on guys. See that? So that's a little bit of, like I said, I'll see if I can show you in the last episode, like I said, I'll see if I can show a little bit of skill here. And, well, I think we pulled that off. We're painting, as you can see, in a filthy dirty shed. Filthy dirty. This is not a paint shop. This is a fabricating area, okay? It is covered in dust and grinding dust, and there is tools and memorabilia hanging everywhere collecting dust. Oh, look how dirty that nose cone is. You can hardly even see the sticker anymore. Same with the sprint car wings. Like, that's how filthy dirty this shed is. And we paint that slickness on a freezing cold day. So all of these excuses, oh, you can't do it in the cold, oh, it was cold, oh, I had a freeze, it's all a load of crap. You just need to know what you're doing more. And obviously this Pelican that did this job didn't have a freaking clue of what he was doing. So I think, are we saving this? Well, I think we're saving it now. We're on the, are we all seeing the light? I think we might be seeing the light. So we won't speak too soon because we do have to sand this down and polish it. Now, if we speak too soon, get too cocky, we'll burn through the paint, won't we, when we go to polish it. So we just got a little bit of colour sanding. We'll just do it very gently. I don't even know if I'm going to touch it today. I might let it cure off a bit more. And we'll do it tomorrow or the next day, I think. So I'm actually, as you can see, I've got a smile on my face. It's been a very stressful few weeks. This has been very, very stressful few weeks. It's made me not want to do flip cars. This is the sort of thing that made me not want to do them. I got very upset with it. I was not enjoying it. I was having to force myself to come down to do the work. I was not happy, not enjoying it. At least we're getting some pleasure of the fact of what we, a pipe fitter welder, can achieve, which is something you could achieve yourself. I'm an untrained paint person, and this is what I have achieved myself. Admittedly, I've had a little bit of practice, but and a professional produced that absolute garbage that we had to deal with. But to have fought through all the issues we've had with paint frying and all this crap that they had and bad repair work and all this, to get it to this point, I'm pretty happy. Like, if we look at the edge of the door there, you know, it's like thin now. If you remember, that was big, thick. You know, remember the bog we ground out of that was a good half an inch of filler put through there. It now has like, I don't know in inches. It's less than a quarter of an inch. It's what's half a quarter, an eighth. An eighth, probably an eighth of an inch. Like, it's probably got 3 mil of filler in it. Like, it's probably not as small. It's smaller than an eighth of an inch, isn't it? No, probably an eighth of an inch it has of filler at the worst spot. Like, you know, that just has the tiniest little bit in. I'm pretty chuffed, guys. I'm pretty chuffed with what we have finally started to pull off. So like I said, we're not finished yet. We've still got a bit more to do, but the car's close. Now, we do have to go source some sprayers for the bonnet because the idiot broke them. So we do have to source a couple of them. And while we might even try to find a new under tray. And while we're there, I may look at this. This is just sitting here, but this rubber one that was full of overspray, well, it's all just destroyed. So we may look at getting that new pellet of plastic for that. Hey, I think we're going to pull it off. So anyway, I think we'll shut up shop for a little bit, for probably a day. Let all these cure a bit more. Oakley dokley. We got the door on. Now we've just put 2 bolts in. We're just tweaking around on the gaps. I think we got it pretty good. There it is. We've given that we sanded the trash out, and we've given it, I think only 1, maybe 2 passes with the polish. I think only 1 pass with the polish, so we'll probably give it another one later. It looks pretty smick, but doesn't it? It's actually nearly a little bit too good. There's no pill. There's more pill, I think, in here now than in there. Now, our colour is very, very close. I think there's a slight little difference, but there is that little, you can see there's a difference in there. So it's like this door, you know, the doors, like I said, are a little bit off. So the colour is now, it's only a tiny bit, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people won't even notice this. I think once the door handle goes on, and our stripe goes on, and our chrome strip here, the mirror, all that, it won't hardly be noticeable. Now, this light, I've said, shows these up really good outside. We'll probably see no one will pick anything. But as you can see there, it's pretty much the same difference. See, so we're pretty much spot on to the quarter, I reckon. We're in the process of bolting it up. We've just got 2 bolts. We've still got to plug it in, put the other 2 bolts in, and then put our mirror, our chrome strip, all of that good stuff, the door handle, all of that on it. As you can see, our bodywork looks really good. We don't have a stupid big fat edge. So we're all looking, you know, that you can't pick any bodywork or anything's been happened to this. Like, it's actually how it should have been done. How it should have been done. Now we come in here. So we are, hey, we may even finish today. We'll see how we go. We come in here. This was our other guard that matches that one that had the run on the side here. Now I've been working, I've still got a little bit more on the run. Just, you can just see a tiny little bit. I just spent about 10 minutes on this last night. And you can see there, can you see the, so that's showing that bit of peel. See the tiniest little bit of, it's hard to tell with that light, but because that's not just, I'm trying to get it where it's not getting it. It's hardly got any peel at all in it anyway, is what I'm trying to get at. And this is just had, like, I've just started with the 2000 to just, so there's like 3 or 4 little pieces of little dust nibs that we took out with 800, and that's what we've been working on this very carefully on this run with the 800. Then we're just going to give the guard just a 2000 just to make it, like, it seriously does not need doing. You can see, you should be able to see that is like really good for peel, like for off the gun finish. This guard is insane, but we're going to make it even better. Dokely, it is Saturday afternoon and we've done a little bit. We've got a little bit done. We can't record all of it because it's just a bit painful, some of it. But what do you think? We're not quite finished, but we're very, very close. So we've got our guards. Both guards have been trash sanded out of them and polished. And hopefully you can see, we'll just look in the reflection. Needs a bit of a wipe down. It's got a bit dirty, but hey, no trash. They're just little watermarks. It just needs we'll do it right now. We'll do it now. We'll just grab our little polish cloth. Just give it a quick wipe over. Now we're going to give it another polish. This has just had basically the cut. We're probably going to use the dual action on it and give the whole car, I think. But check that out. Hey, can't see any peel in there, can you guys? That is beautiful. When we come around the other side here, now we had to give the bonnet another pass with the polish as well. It had a bit of rubbish on the top. We've wiped all the bumper down, and here's our other guard. This was my really nice one, really nice one. Like, check it out, absolutely, like you can just see in the shadowing. It's very nice, guys, very nice. Like I said, it needs another wipe down. We've got our indicator on, we've got our first badge on, all our gaps are pretty good. Door gap here is all pretty good. Here's our door. Look, they can't notice any repair. Our colour on the money. So even there, see, that looks, this is the same paint, and even that looks like it's nearly a touch out, which it's not. It's 100% the same, but we're looking good there. And we look at our door to back guard. I can pick, it is like the tiniest bit out. I don't know, you can probably just see it. It's a little bit out, but generally you're not going to pick this. I'm pointing it out to you, and I don't know if you're seeing it or not, and the camera will show these things up more prominently. Yeah, you can probably see it through the camera there. It will change a bit when we get the chrome trim on. The door handle, this door is not polished either, and the stripe on, and the naked eye isn't going to pick this at all. It is actually like it's really good. This is what I thought I was paying for. That's right. So we've run the buffer around the boot as well. That's had a quick polish, and we touched up a little scratch that was on the bumper, and we've given the car a wipe down. As you can see, most of it's all been wiped down. So onto the inside, the boss came down and detailed it all, wiped all the rubbers down for the polish, vacuumed it. So we've just got to put our door card on. So, you know, look, like it's actually looking pretty cool now, guys. I'm actually like pretty happy with it. It's like I said, it's what I thought I was paying for. Was a quality job, and it just didn't happen. But so it's kicked our ass to get it to this point. It's been a lot harder than it should have been with all the issues that we have had. But at the end of the day, this paintwork that I've done is pretty much better than you will get anywhere. Like I've said, this is the best paint that I've ever laid down. It is absolutely superb. It's nearly too good, if that makes sense. If this was a normal repair on a normal car that didn't have paint correction, this paint is too good and would stand out. Anyway, stop talking, let's do some more work and get this car finished. We're excited, we've saved it. Hey, I'm actually pretty proud of myself on this one. Guys, I must say, I'm actually a little bit proud. This was very stressful. As you've seen, I had a meltdown last week with it. It's really tested me, this has. I always knew I could do the job, but I just didn't want to have to do the colour sanding and the trash, and I'd never really been able to polish up very good, whereas now I am. So it wasn't that I didn't think I could do the repair or anything. It was just I wanted the car perfect, and I didn't know whether I could get it perfect, really, with painting in a dirty shed and all this stuff. So that's why it got sent off. And the other reason I sent it off to start off with was the fact that I was trying to lighten my workload a little bit, and I wanted to try to find someone that would work at a reasonable rate that I could start sending more of the flip cars to have them do some of this stuff, which meant I can do what I want to do and build my hot rods. And I could, instead of having to build one or the other, I could be doing both, because I could do the part I enjoy, which is finding the car, doing the repair sort of thing, getting them ready, and then send it off for a little bit of paint, touch up here and there. He could detail it, and then I could sell it. So it means I could just continually have a flip car going on, and I could work on my hot rod. So that was what I was trying to find. Obviously it didn't work, so we have to do it the way we've always done it, which is we work on the flip cars or we work on the hot rods. So it's like what we've just done. We do a batch, make enough cash that then we can work on stuff we want for a while. So that was the whole plan of doing it. But like I said, I'm actually proud because I was so upset with the poor work. It's probably pushed me to do an even better job than usual. And I do have a pretty high standard normally, but the work I've done on this is as good or better than anything you will pay at any shop anywhere. Like, the parts that I have repainted and bodyworked myself are absolutely flawless, and we have basically got his rubbish bits after a lot of work to the point where they are good, but our pieces are, like I've said, they are flawless. Okay, so here's the engine cover. As you can see, hopefully you can see, it's just a bit ratty looking. So the plan is we're just going to quickly mask up the HEMI on both sides and just mask up this center section quickly. Then we'll mask that up, mask the HEMI up, give it a quick scuff and just shoot some satin black on it quickly just to clean it up. And while that's off, if we see here, we've sort of given the engine bay a bit of a wipe. What we'll probably do is just spray some inox around the place just to clean that, make that look a bit flash. And then that there is pretty well, we're done. We also put our sprayers on the bonnet, as you would have seen, and we put all our new rubbers in the guards and all that good stuff. So we'll quickly get this ready, spray that, then we'll let that dry, and then we'll jump onto the door card. Oakley dokley. So we just quickly masked it up, a little bit rough, but we'll just scrape any bit off with a blade that we've missed. And we gave it a quick scotchy, wax and grease removed it, hit it with some satin black, and it was all a bit blotchy and whatever, and didn't really like the look of it. And then I just had this little, what about a bit of stone guard type stuff, like you'd paint underneath your car or in your wheel arches, or sometimes on the bottom, very bottom of your rocker panel, stone shield anti-chip coating. So I actually had a little brainwave. I went, well, maybe that might look cool, like a little textury thing on it. And so I don't know, some will love it, some will hate it, but I went and gave it a coat of that. And then I just I don't know if that was gloss or what it is, but I just ran some satin black, a little mist coat of satin black over the top. So it's still very wet, it will dry off, but yeah, we've got that little texture on it. And I think under the engine bay, I reckon that might look pretty trick. These will be silver and silver. I think that might look alright. So, but it's definitely going to look cleaner and everything. But yeah, I think that might look alright. It might look like a little textured bit of plastic. So the only thing I'm thinking now, see, this is my issue, I get carried away, is this one here is the same as a little bit ratty. Is it worth me quickly pulling this off and just spraying some of that over the top of that too, so it actually matches? You know, I don't know. I think we'll just leave it. We'll just leave it, won't we? Yes, just leave it. Put the paint gun down. Any rate, let's grab some inox and we will quickly squirt some inox around, just zoosh it up. And it's just, I like getting it on all of our alloy motor bits as well. So I'll go find a can of that. We go grab a new one. Oakley dokley. Well, so this is what we did with the engine cover. We used that, like I said, the stone guard paint, and that looks pretty cool, hey? I think that looks nice and neat and trick now. So the engine bay, we put inox over everything and the plastic up there, and I think you would admit that looks pretty smick now. And just, you know, 5 seconds, guys, to do that engine cover, and how much nicer does that look in there? So engine bay, 100% completed. Oh, and yesterday we just threw some flat satin black on that windscreen wiper that was missing the bit of paint. And then we just go like this. Hey, how good. It means everything's adjusted correctly. Gaps along there are nice and even. Everything's good. So, as you know, our guard's all painted beautiful. And we have put the guard liner in. And what we've just done is the same with the inox. We've just sprayed all the suspension down and the guard liner and everything in there. And so that does two things, okay? One, it makes it look beautiful. It all looks nice and fresh. But it also, can you excuse me? My stupid dog is carrying on like a minder. Oi! Enough. Sit down. Good boy. Shut up. Okay, now we've got him sorted. So if you look on this side, we haven't put the guard liner in yet. Well, can we see in there? But look at the, see if we move the lights. See if the suspension just looks, you know. So one, we make it look nice. Two, it will stop it rusting. Inox is very good for that. It will stop rusting and it will lubricate anything that's getting a bit dry. So it's like a triple whammy we do that for. As you can see, our door's on and our stripe, door handle, mirror, everything is on. And then when we're finished all of this stuff, we will probably, probably get another wash. And like I said, we'll polish it again. Door card's all on, beautiful. All our lights are working. You can see down there. Hey, the car's just beautiful. We gave that a wipe as well. So everything works there. All looks good. You wouldn't even think we've been in here at all, would you? And then we adjusted this door striker a bit in to get this door here was kind of just sticking out a little bit. So we gave that a clout and pushed that in, and door strip, everything on. I think we're there, guys. I think we've saved it. Oakley dokley. I know you can see that, but that is a smile because, oh yeah, I think we finished it. Like I've said, eventually we will give it another polish in the next week or so, but we need to have a break because it has been mentally draining and I've got some other jobs to do. Anyway, I think it's done, guys. Like, it is actually good enough as is, but me being a fuss pot, I will give it another polish, like I said, with the dual action. But check it out. Hey, so we'll take it outside in a second. We'll drive it up the street. We'll have a proper walk around. It's looking pretty good. So the wheels are on, guard liners are all on, screwed in, everything. We airbrushed a little bit in the back. It was just a little tiny, like a bit of a scratchy bit. Like I said, fuss pot, thought I neatened it up a little bit. We've just done the tyre pressures. We've got to put tyre shine on. Eventually we'll give the windows another wash and all of that jazz. But other than that, I think it's finished. So all that's left to do is, like I said, take it up the street, get it out in the sun, and see how good we did. Well, here we are. What do you reckon? Looks pretty good. Hey? Can't see it. Can't pick it at all, can you? No. That looks perfect. Perfect. It's no different there to there. No different at all. Factory. Looks factory. Front looks nice now. Hey, no one's picking any paintwork on this. The guard and our door. Look at this one. This one's like even better. If anything, the camera will pick it up better than you would in real life. The same. There's no difference out of there. we've done exceptional. Now if we come up, see if we can get it, probably be better on the other side, I think. I'm trying to get you with the shadow to look at the paint. Flawless now. Flawless now, guys. We can zoom along here, can we? Look at that, no peel at all. Pristine. Pristine paint. That's what we thought we were buying. That's what we thought we were paying for. Hey, chuff now, guys. Chuff now. It's turned out exceptionally good. This is what we thought we were paying for. It's what we didn't get, but this is what we've now created. It's taken 2 or 3 weeks. Like I said, the car could probably have a tiny bit more detail work done, but we'll get that done inside. Looking beautiful. It is a very nice car. Low K, remember, very low K. 127 kilometers, 89,000 miles or 80 something miles. Everything factory, DVD player, all that good stuff. Nothing ripped, torn, damaged. V8 5.7 HEMI. Beautiful car. Well, it is now. There's our engine cover. That turned out an absolute treat. So that's something for you. The old stone guard trick. That looks exceptionally good. Really, that looks actually better than the factory plastic, I believe. So I'm happy with that. Engine bays all detailed, headlights polished. The bumper is probably its downfall. The car's downfall is probably the bumper, but these all have ratty bumpers. It's looking good. All the guard liners beautiful. Paintwork's beautiful. I'm extremely happy now. It's taken a bit to get here, but I think we have salvaged it. We've done more than salvaged it. You drop your comments down on what I've achieved here, what I've done with this paintwork. I'm trying to show you as good as I can. It is, you should be able to see through here, it is slick. There is no peel whatsoever. It is really good. Okay, we've flattened the bonnet out a ton. The bonnet still has some imperfections in it. Same with the bumper. This guard is slick, and so is the door. And as you can see, this is where our little line was. You cannot see it at all. So that's a little trick there, is you don't mask like this. You fold your masking tape back, get a soft edge. Door rubber on. I'm actually happy, very happy. Like I said, drop your comments down. This will be the last flip car video for a little bit. We do have a video to do on the other Chrysler, a little bit of mechanic wrenching coming up. But basically we are now back on our hot rods. We've got a Bedford video coming, an Oakland video coming, and then the lookout for the new build. All that said, I know this was a long drawn out process. It went over 3 videos. Not much I could do. It was meant to be 1 video and then it kicked us. So, like I said, drop your comments, how you reckon we did. And with all that said, I'll say thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week. Swagger down.